I mean, you got me hyped, Stephen. Welcome to the final day of 13 Days of Horror. Today I'm going to watch Ghost Story from 1981, and I can't believe I haven't seen this one before. It has a pretty star-studded cast, including Fred Astaire, and this was the last film he did. The film is based on a novel of the same name, and Stephen King has even been quoted saying that this is one of the best supernatural stories of all time, meaning the book. He said it was probably the best supernatural story after The Other, The Exorcist, and Rosemary's Baby. So, I mean, you got me hyped, Stephen. The film is listed on IMDb as a drama horror thriller. It has a 6.3, which isn't really that high for everything else we've been watching this month, except for Black Christmas. It says it's about two generations of men who find themselves haunted by the presence of a spectral woman. When the son of an elderly man returns to his hometown after his brother's mysterious death, they attempt to unravel her story. Her story? Who's the her? Oh, the spectral woman. Okay, I'm gonna give this one a go. Wish me luck. I'm very excited. Let's get into it. Happy Halloween. That ending. I can't believe that film only has a 6.4. I thought it was fantastic. As we said, the film is about a group of men known as the Chowder Society. Weird flex, but okay, as they are haunted by their past mistake. This film is one of those ones where you're not sure what's going on. There's a huge mystery in it all, and then it takes a while to get to the final story, which it plays out at the end. So it kind of goes back into the past, and I really like that. But what I like more about this film is it has two generations of that kind of happening. Towards the start of the film, he pulls out this photograph, and he's shocked by looking at this photo of this woman, and I was thinking maybe I missed something, and I went back and tried to like figure out what I missed. But don't worry if you haven't seen it and these things happen. The whole thing is you're not meant to know because it is all revealed at the end. It's kind of like a mystery, but being called Ghost Story is amazing because this is a really, really well done ghost story. I very much enjoyed this film. It has a lot of practical but also edited special effects and really intense scare moments that I absolutely loved. And the way it's kind of wrapped up in this sinister, ghost story is really clever. It's not in your face. It's just this stirring, something is wrong atmosphere going on. And there's like a character in there that says weird things, and it just feels so off. And it's all explained, but it's very scary to think that you could know someone and them be off in this kind of way. There is like a weird plot line in this where two other characters come in and they just kind of cause this like mischief and, I don't know, ruffle a few feathers. And that for me wasn't really needed in the story. It was like a classic, simple story that I really liked watching, play out. And I felt like that aspect was a little bit confusing, and maybe it was put in there to confuse you about what was happening and where this was going. When I told a lot of you guys I was doing this for 13 Days of Horror for my Halloween night film, a lot of you expressed to me how much this did scare you as a child, and I completely agree. I'm really surprised this one isn't hyped up a lot more, especially for the cast. It's the final film of Melvin Douglas, Fred Astaire, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. There's lots of classic aspects and little touches that went into this film. Lots of the set design and artwork were done by really renowned artists within Hollywood, and it was just a really big production, and I really don't actually understand why it's only got a 6.4. This is the only time I feel like it's rated much lower than it should be. Also, just a fun fact, they did some other apparitions that didn't appear in the film because, as I said, there are some very spooky moments, and one of them was actually saved and later used in The House on Haunted Hill of 1999. That's so crazy. They saved it for what, 20 years? I was reading afterwards that the film actually received mixed reviews and I think a couple of negative reviews. I think that this might be because it's based on such a classic novel, but I have not read the book, and if anyone has, I would love to hear what you think of the adaptation versus the original. That's the only thing I can see, because it's a pretty straightforward, solid story, very eerie, great acting, great actors, set up really well, and I like the fact that it's 2 generations. It just makes it so much more creepy. It is a really well told ghost story, and I really don't see many issues with it apart from that extra plot line. I think it's pretty straightforward and pretty beautiful. It's pretty funny because on the bullseye, I'm sure we'll get to it, but I think this intent is pretty smack on. But obviously with the fact it's based on a book, it's a little bit different. I think that the vibes of this film were bang on. It was mysterious, it was spooky, you weren't too sure what was happening until it was all revealed, and it's all very clear cut. I think it's a great film, and especially a good film for Halloween night. Have you guys seen this film? Let me know what you think down below. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm gonna give it originality score of like a 4. It's just a typical ghost story. And for scare score, I'm gonna give it a, I mean, this is hard. Is it scary now? Is it scary at the time? People are scared by different things. I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I think the apparitions and just those moments are really spooky, and the way they play out, yeah, I mean, I feel like there are some jump scares in this film, believe it or not. But let's head down to the bullseye and the genre map for one final time to see where it lands. Here we are at the final day at the genre map for one last time. But unfortunately for this one, there's not much to talk through. It's called Ghost Story for a reason. It's paranormal. It's straight bang in the middle paranormal. But this is it, guys. This is the final genre map. I'm very surprised there wasn't more psychological. I usually go in between psychological and disturbing, so I'm very surprised that this didn't get used as much. Monster killer, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, we had a good run with the paranormal this year. Yeah, just very sad about the psychological. We'll have to keep that in mind if we do 13 Days of Horror next year. But now we have to talk about the mark, because this one is hard. I think it hits the mark completely. I think it's a clear-cut ghost story. Really, there's not much else to it. I don't think it's confusing. I don't think it tries to be anything it's not. So I would put this like really close to the middle, but I would love to hear some feedback as to why you guys think it isn't rated more highly, and there was mixed reviews. I think obviously it probably has to do with the original novel that I don't know much about, so if you have the answers for me, please let me know, because these videos really are just as much about me learning as you guys figuring out if the film is for you or not. So I'm gonna put this one right here, just because that's a spot there, but I mean, he's pretty close to the middle. That is our bullseye. What do you guys think? I wasn't too sure about the bullseye, but some of you guys like the bullseye more than the genre map. The genre map is easier for me to think about, but I think that that's what's cool about this. Hopefully this created a little bit of more conversation in the comment section down below, and thank you so much if you left a comment, if you left a like, if you shared my videos, and if you watched them all. You are amazing. I'm not sure if I'll do 13 Days of Horror again next year. I did really like doing it, but not a lot of my followers enjoyed it. Please let me know your feedback down below. If enough of you do like it, and you know, within the next couple of weeks it gets more traction, I will definitely look at it. But one thing I will be doing this year, because I already have all the movies, is 12 Days of Christmas. If you don't know what 12 Days of Christmas is, during the end of the month of December, I get 12 movies, mystery movies that I don't even know what they are, wrapped up and put under the tree. Every day I unwrap one, I look at it, I'm disgusted or I'm obsessed, and then I watch it and do a vlog review. So it's like this, but nothing is planned. So very exciting stuff, and my fiance, he does it for me every year, and he already has majority of the films ready. If you have not seen them before, he really picks some interesting choices because he's not a horror fan. So anyway, I've taken up so much of your time. Thank you for being here. I hope you have the spookiest yet safe Halloween, and I will talk to you very soon. I'll be back, don't worry. In a couple of days, in fact. Thank you guys again. Cue the outro music.